Some of the reasons behind the technology and how it works is a set of hollow fiber membranes where raw water is entered from the bottom. So every time the piston is pulled up, it causes a vacuum to be created in the middle of the pipe, and the water it comes in from the pump and the hose, and every time you pull it up, it will be trapped into the middle column. Once you push, there's a valve that prevents the water from flowing back into the river or the well, and it goes into a whole set of membranes that is in the middle of the system. It's forced through these membranes, and when it passes laterally, it's forced to cross the membrane, and only clean water will be able to cross through. So bacteria and viruses will be kept out of it, and there's an opportunity for all these bacteria and virus and also other forms of suspended solids to be able to be flushed through. And because of this flushing mechanism, it allows the system to be prolonged in terms of its lifespan, and this really enables the entire system to last that 2 years period compared to many other systems which may require a lot more frequent changes. We see that such frequent changes are not really possible for many of such far-flung communities or hard-to-reach communities. So that's why we really designed a system that can be able to be much more robust. Because of this integrated pump, that helps to reduce the need to have an additional generator or an additional hand pump on the site. And this integrates everything into a very lightweight 2.5 kg system so that it can be brought very quickly to different places.
The thing that we have to keep in mind is always start with knowing the source of water, the quality, before deciding the system. Many times, even if it is low TDS, people just think RO and just put in an RO when it's not needed. So understanding when each filter, what kind of input quality it requires is so critical. And that thinking has to be instilled in all users and all communities. And that will save. And one comment I made in my chat is there is a lot of scope for competition, and we have to try how to get new players into the market who can reduce the cost and come up with alternate solutions like David is. And the level of thoroughness of a young entrepreneur like David and his team, I really hats off to you, David, and I wish more entrepreneurs like that take up this water challenge around the world. Thank you.
Actually, 2 to 3 points to say. David's presentation was too good. But in the design competition internationally, a similar design has been awarded the first prize in the world this time. That is a design, that is the platform which gives for simpler designs which does maximum impact. A similar design from one, I think, is from some European country. He has got the award, and how 2-3 people can think alike. With Terrafil candle, we are using PVC pipes. We are using this bicycle pump, that prototype I am also making here, to see how we could exert pressure and make the flow improve. I am also wondering, because as many of them mentioned, Vivo Blue's hollow membrane, or what these are all, as again somebody else here had mentioned that BARC is giving the hollow membrane technology. The problem is the raw material, polyether sulfone or polysulfone. Availability is from Solvay, one big company, who also bought out an Indian company who indigenized polyether sulfone manufacturing, Garda Chemicals, way back, and they bought it out. So again, the hold is with the US big giants. So the problem is, say, like many of these solutions are very much available. But if David can say, other than Solvay, there are any other companies who can substitute or give us the right raw material, I think plethora of Indian companies can do hollow membranes, and they can collaborate with him or maybe Vivo Blue. In fact, good news is we have already signed a NDA with Vivo Blue. We got an inquiry from UN for 1 million pieces of the single candle. Unfortunately, another hollow membrane company in Nigeria rejected because what they mentioned was 0.1 absolute micron. What they found out after filtration was some presence of pathogen. So how do we address, as a layman, how do we ensure that without doing any test or anything, that the membranes meet the standard of highest 10,500? That is one thing. Second thing, how do we reduce TDS and heavy metals and other complex things, like exactly what Rajaram sir said. We cannot just go ho-ho with one filter. We need to see the source water and then recreate a tailor-made filter, or maybe a combination of these technologies. keeping in mind the cost effectiveness. Like again, I also talked to Abdul Ji also a few days before through the platform. The problem there here also the biosand filters are huge, cumbersome, and the one which are made up of pot, the portability or the portability is very difficult. Again, it addresses only the pathogen issue, but not the TDS or maybe issues like arsenic and fluoride. So we need to have a combination of sorts. Maybe tailor a few of these things coming together and then address the water problem. That is my call. So thank you.